set. You're watching Point of View. Thank you for tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Erica Washington. We also have Sandy Laborde on set with us. And also joining us, special guest host, Gigi Mormon. She's the chief connector for Raise Your Glass, an event boutique management firm here in Orlando, and also realtor with Berkshire Hathaway. So welcome to the show, Gigi.
Thanks, Erica. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun the last time.
Good.
It's good to see
That always
you
works
again.
out.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sandy.
Yes, you're welcome.
Let's see what we can get into today.
Yes.
So on one of the topics on the show today, one of the topics, we have 28 kids died in Nigeria due to lead poisoning with illegal gold mining. We also have social media tech startups. It's really big business right now in Africa, so we'll talk to you about that. And then our crazy story of the day. How about sex with robots? That is actually coming, but we'll give you more details on that before you completely freak out. Let's start right here with the current affair. 28 kids died. Lead poisoning. One, illegal gold mining is happening, which I say we really can't fault the citizens for that. They've got to make money some kind of way, and the miseducation is there. But 28 kids perished, and this is not the first time that lead poisoning has taken such a toll on the citizens there, especially children.
Well, they're saying overall that thousands of people are affected in that particular area by this event that's going on.
You speak so softly.
Oh, well, I'll speak up a little bit louder today. Well, personally, in real everyday life, I am a little soft-spoken. But, I mean, with this situation, it's like, what can you really do? Like you said, educated. I think it's ignorance a little bit, what you don't know that you're exposed to. But even if you do know that you're exposed to it, if it's your only means of income, to send your children off or to send that dad off to work, the illegal mines, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay home and not feed your kids because of it? The doctor herself, the director of Doctors Without Borders, was speaking on how what did she say?
Neurological, it'd be irreversible neurological damage
that can be done.
From lead.
Right.
You never really think it could be that bad from lead.
And those type of damages, it's not something that you see instantly. So it means that it can already be happening to the person and they won't notice until later on. But in my opinion, I'm saying if I put myself in that position and you told me that these were the consequences, unfortunately, I would kind of take those chances or those odds, because what other choices my family have in this situation. So yes, it's a big fight. It's something that they should make aware to the community and the people there. But what else are you offering them? It's the way that they eat. It's the way that they feed their families. And yes, it's illegal, but come on, gold mining in Africa? I mean, how often is it actually legal? Completely. So I feel like it's an uphill battle and something that's not going to be resolved anytime soon, unfortunately.
It's definitely going to take a while. It involves a lot of training the villagers on safer mining if they're going to do it anyway. Unfortunately, a lot of the gold mines were left behind by companies that didn't find the gold that they were looking for, but the passages are still open. And so people are going in there, like you said, to try and make more money, to make money off of the gold that they can find, to take that chance, to take the risk. So there definitely has to be a lot more training. There has to be a faster reaction from the government in terms of treatment. Doctors with Borders was saying that the treatment time is what will make the difference between permanent neurological damage and little or no damage.
And my thing is, how do you treat something that they're going to continuously go back to?
Well, I think that's
where the safer
revolving
training comes in.
And
education.
If they were to offer it, I always pose this question, because to me you can offer education all you want. Are the people really going to take that education and use it? Is one thing. The government also took 3 years between the last one in 2010 to actually have some kind of movement to helping these people, children affected with the lead poisoning. So that's definitely something that can happen again. Funding. Where does all of this come from? I think it's an uphill battle, one, that really can never, you can't really solve it.
I don't see it going away.
If you're telling these people this is your means of income right here, there's an open gold mine, there's gold in here somewhere, all you got to do is find it. I think they were saying, and I don't know the correct terminology, but standards here in the U.S., it's like a 400 basis points for lead of some sort. And over there in Nigeria, where they're with these gold mines, 100,000 is their basis points, whatever they counted for in lead degrees. I don't know if you have it there.
Right, it's 400 parts per million that are safe. But over there in the Zamfara state, it was over 100,000 parts per million of lead.
Insane.
So their level of exposure and what they're dealing with, it's a different level. And I think that, unfortunately, even though it's a very pertinent issue, at the same time, is it going to truly be resolved?
I definitely think it could improve. If you look back to the case that took place in 2010, there were over 400 children that were killed, and many left paralyzed and neurological damages. But in this one, there were 28 children. So is it still a tragedy? Absolutely, yes. But at least it's a lower number. At least they understand that the treatment time has to be facilitated quicker, and they're doing some training.
Yeah.
I definitely think that people understand that people will still take a risk, but maybe they'll take a risk more cautiously. So maybe now I won't bring those ores back into my home to process them.
That is one.
Maybe I'll do it outside, so I'm
do.
not in a confined space.
Right.
I definitely think that although people are anxious to make a little bit of money, to put food on the table, to take care of their
And
shelter,
you see it
provide
right
shelter,
in front of you.
that they'll do things a little bit differently if they understand the consequences.
Right, that are involved
if
in
they're
there.
educated.
Well, they secured support 2,600 children, 26 and some change out of the 5,600. So I mean, or actually, yeah, 5,400. So there's a chunk that is being done in it, but I think it's still going to be a continual process that goes on along with this. So as we move into our hot topic here, how about the EU, all right, is setting up immigration shelters to kind of curb, well, to stop is what they want to do. I can't put that any nicer than that. They want to stop immigration going over into Europe, immigrants from going over into Europe. Kind of two-sided with that, you know, because it's people migrate for a reason. You know, it's not, sometimes I guess it could be maybe a change of scenery, who knows. But normally, there's issues going on abroad where you cannot stay there and you have to migrate. So to stop people from migrating, I just kind of think if people were stopping folks from migrating, my family wouldn't be here.
Right.
You know, I don't know who else's family wouldn't be able to be here. But you just can't stop migration. I understand it's a lot of funding involved, excuse me. You know, when you're going over into other countries, now you are a burden on that country until you start making a living. But I think it's almost, you know, to stop people from migrating.
I think they're also trying to take
human rights, I
responsibility
feel.
for all the lives that are being lost at sea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're taking that role? Because I wasn't going there.
Well, that was definitely bothering me when you hear about the thousands of people or lives that have been lost this year alone in the Mediterranean Sea, and then how basically people are now smuggling people in, charging people $8 grand just to come over. And to some, that's like a year's worth of work, and some don't even make it across. They end up losing their life. And then I wanted to, because they were placing the blame on Europe, saying that, you know, this is your issue. And then I've always
said, I don't know why it would be Europe's issue.
Well, as far as immigration,
right. They're causing the stop.
They put the blame on them. It's never been the country where they're coming from.
Right, and that's where the blame should be.
Which I feel like this movement is actually putting the blame on the country, with them saying, you know what, they call them economic migrants, basically migrants that are moving due to economic reasons. So, and I don't mind that term, because that is the issue. You're moving because you have no way to survive.
Right.
You know, you're in desperate.
So you should not stop them from migrating. They have no way to survive.
But it forces you to create an environment where they can stay. It makes me think about Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
How many Haitians migrate? They're always complaining about how many people Haitians are going off to DR. But at the same time, when you send them back or you ask them to stay, what are you sending them back to?
Right.
So that's going to force them to develop their country or develop the...
Do you really think that's going to happen, Sandy? We're saying we're no longer allowing your citizens to migrate. So now let's all of a sudden, since they have to stay, let's make infrastructure. Let's develop us.
I think it'll open up the conversation.
Oh.
I think it's important. I mean, the reality is a lot of the people that are migrating out of their countries don't want to leave. There are people that have been here for 20 years from Haiti that want to go back. If the country was stable enough, if they knew that they could have enough of a salary to be able to take care of their family, they would go back home. So a lot of the people that are migrating are not migrating simply because they want to change the scenery, which some people could, but it's more because of the civil unrest. It's more because of the civil wars. It's more because there's no food. It's more because they can't find a job.
You shouldn't stop
them.
them.
If they're stopping them with solutions, which is one of the things that they said, that the real solution is development.
Yeah.
If they're stopping them with that mindset, we're not just stopping you because we don't want you here, but we're stopping you because it's dangerous.
Right.
And we're stopping you because we want to help fix the situation in your country, in your home, so that you don't feel the need to leave. So that's stuff that's going to take a long time to do. But I like the fact that we are actually talking about it. We're creating a movement saying, let's help you. The European Union is saying, let's help you to make things better. Realizing that if we make things better for your home country, then we'll have less people coming to our home country.
Right.
And long term, think about what it does. When you, the people that are the quickest to leave and to move are usually the intellectuals, people that have more to risk, people, you know, who may be educated or want to start businesses,
well,
but
people
can't.
who can leave.
People who can leave. So when you think about a country where only the people who have no means or have no way to leave are here, and those are the ones that we have to deal with, it affects you in the long run. Basically, the country isn't developing the way it should.
Right.
So in a way, to kind of force them to stay there, those people will have to find a way to develop and work with what they have.
This is what I'm saying. How does that happen? And I know it's not going to be an overnight. But even if with the discussion, even putting it on the round table and saying, hey, we need infrastructure, you knew you needed darn infrastructure decades, centuries ago.
But
why is this now a conversation piece?
No, you don't.
Right.
You have to deal with your circumstances.
And sometimes
the people do, but the people who can change it don't.
Right, but the people can't make the changes, and the people that are in a position to make those changes don't unless their hand is forced. So if the European Union is saying, we're going to force your hand now because we're not going to allow this exodus to take place, and we're going to help bring some money into the country so that we can make this development take place. We're going to, instead of shipping out all of the raw materials and then having them built in other countries or canned in different countries, we're going to train your citizens to be able to package the goods that we're shipping to Europe and then reselling back to you.
I think that's part of the problem, because when you have any other union come in, anything other than the citizens there and their government to implement these procedures, that's a problem. Because you bring it in and you show them how to do it, what to do it, when to do it, and eventually you're going to have to leave. And they're going to be left with that same infrastructure that was there prior, and it's just all going to crumble because no one there has taken responsibility unless they were forced. When they're no longer forced, it topples right back over.
But they'll still force them by putting sanctions on them is what I'm guessing. They're still going to say, you're not going to be able to export X amount of whatever into our country unless you maintain these developments, these facilities, this training, this infrastructure, because we have to put our foot down. It's almost like, when we talk about the other stories, it's your family putting your foot down. It's someone saying, I'm no longer going to allow you to continue to live this way, and if you can't change your life for yourself, then we're going to help you because now we're taking away things. We're putting on sanctions.
So, well, hopefully EU can actually implement, stick with that, and build whatever they need to build to get that to happen. I don't know how you make people who aren't responsible, but we'll move on. Social media now. How about xenophobia that happened in South Africa, right? Those stories have been popping up. An app now is detecting and actually has it mapped real-time verified stories of where these xenophobia attacks are happening to kind of keep the people safeguarded so you can actually keep abreast of what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening, and you have that now all on your phone, social media, whichever way you have it, computer, phone, iPad, whatever you have. But it just keeps you abreast of everything that's going on right there.
I think it's great. And I mean, sometimes, people say, is Africa really ready for certain types of technology or all of this? I think I always mention that.
Are they ready for Twitter and the Kardashians? No.
No, but if they use it in a different way, which they are now, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a way to connect everything, or connect everyone. Because the more you know of what's going on, the better. And also, it kind of shames them, from these activities or what's going on. I think it does. I think putting it on the map and publicizing it and showing everyone each and every time one of these instances happen, I think it shames the person because, you know what, we don't believe in that here in this particular area, so take it somewhere else or don't do it at all. So I think it shames them. And also, I think it gives the country an opportunity to grab a hold or get a grasp on everything that's going on, to respond, very quickly and to take care of it, and also create more of a sense of security, because you don't want this taking over so that people feel like they can't cross borders or visit the country. So I think it's a good way.
That was another one where they wanted to stop the migration. It's like...
It's Africa.
Well, and it's other countries.
Shut down the borders is first go-to. Shut down the borders. What does that do?
I like the fact that the app itself, they're putting a component in there to verify these reports.
Right.
I like that because the reality is some teenager that just wants to have fun can go in there and punch in a whole bunch of different incidences that aren't real. But they're actually going through and they're verifying those situations so that they can be aware and so that they can then address those concerns.
Yeah, and I wonder, I'm quite sure you will see, since they have it mapped out, there's probably certain areas more than others that have had more issues than others. So to actually see that and know where you should not go, if you are a migrant, I don't even know how you could be, if you are a migrant in South Africa, you know at least the safer areas, the not so safe areas. So you have that. But speaking of tech, they have Microsoft is now doing some tech startups there in Africa. Like I know we were talking last show about Apple, you said was coming back in and doing stuff. So Africa is going to be buzzing with the tech industry there, aside from that xenophobia app right there. That was from iAfrican. They partnered with the mapping company to put that together and do that xenophobia map. I thought that was very ingenious.
I mean, I wasn't shocked at all because a lot of people don't think of Africa when it comes to technology, and a lot of people don't incorporate Africa. Or
you think agriculture.
Exactly. But I always say that I feel like when it comes to technology, I feel like Africa is ahead of us a little. They may not have the resources. I do brilliant individuals come out of Africa. The first black inventor who was just inducted, he is African, you know, native African. So, and I think that they just don't get the exposure, and people aren't willing to invest, or sometimes they rather bring foreigners to Africa, or if something does come up, they rather sell it to a foreigner. So I don't think that it's not there. I think that we're not giving Africa the space to really have or show off what they have or showcase. So the fact that I'm hearing about all these techs that are starting up in Africa, I'm not surprised at all. I think it's a great thing. And hopefully it'll motivate the kids, since they're saying there's a lack of black techs. I hope it'll motivate the youth to continue and want to be a part of that movement, because that is the direction that the world is going in. So I think it's great that Africa's also, you know, partaking in it and participating. I think it's
well, I mean, it could help out, because here with my report, I guess Microsoft is looking to distribute 1.2 million devices to the schools there in Africa by 2016. So it's gonna be a lot of upward movement there as far as tech is concerned with Africa.
Yeah.
So that's always a good sign. And then mobile money now. I know we had a couple shows ago, where they had issues with transferring the money, wiring money, and the fees that were being extorted and all with that. So there's actually an app now with MTM and Vodafone where you can actually send money via your phone now, and that's a first coming up in Africa.
Because it cuts out the middleman.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone living abroad and you have family in another country, it's always just a little bit of a burden when it comes to those transactions, trying to send food, trying to pay for school, it's always, okay, I have to be able to afford this, and I have to be able to pay the charges just to get it to you. So these apps cut out the middleman, and you're able to afford to take care of your family across seas. So I think that's great as well. Hopefully, I know that they're trying a little bit with Haiti, but so far it's much more complicated. But, you know, at least Africa, they have a hold on it, and it's doing good for them. So I think, because I have friends who are African, and when they talk about what they have to pay in order to send money back, it's like, oh my goodness, that's like, you have to wait
But it's taken time. So you just have to put that in perspective with Haiti. It's taken time to get Africa. This is just the bubble that's coming here. It isn't even yet to develop. This is just, you know, all new startups. Everything is brand new. Just ideas right now. Nothing's really been implemented, but it took time. So just keep that in mind. So when we come back now, we've got the crazy story of the day. How about robots for you to have relations with? That's up next. We'll give you that story and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Right here, crazy story of the day on Point of View. How about it is coming soon. Robots that are strictly, they're not going to do anything else other than be made to have relations with you. Disturbing, but this is the crazy story of the day. What else are you going to put there, right? So this is definitely going to happen. It's kind of going to be like the iRobot. That's the way they pictured it in the article. We've got, you know, the full-length robot. I guess he's anatomically correct for whatever your preference is, and that's coming in the future. Don't look so disturbed. What if he's better than your regular boyfriend?
Definitely
Just
the crazy story of the day, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone that I know in a relationship with a robotic sex partner. However, I think the world that we live in today, there are so many people that are living behind their computers to do those types of things, and so this would be a market where they would probably be happy. I mean, you know, if you think back in the day when they ordered the plastic women, the blow-up women.
They still order the blow-up dolls.
They still order the blow-up. See, I have no idea what those things do for people, but there's a market for it. It's a little scary to think that robots are now being brought into the bedroom.
It says that an army of 1,000 small robots that can come into formation on command.
I mean, that's just robots being built for battle.
Right, I mean, just the sound of it, though. I've never liked the idea of robots, never, and movies alone have given me all the reasons.
Your phone is a form of a robot?
No,
your
something
tablets,
that
can eventually start to think on its own.
But being sexual with a robot is a completely different plateau. That means that this thing would have to be able to react to you.
No, you program it. The thing is not going to have feelings. It's a robot. But I'm sure you can program to do whatever you'd like it to do. They say that the skin is going to feel as close to human skin as it can. So, I mean, they're engineering it to be as human-like as possible. But the thing is, it's not going to have feelings. It's a robot.
When I say, I mean, just it's moving or reacting, it's just not, it's inhumane.
Yeah, it is.
I compare it to bestiality. I just feel like it's not normal. What is wrong with wanting to connect with another person? Well, so we're going into a direction where we don't even want to, you know, have that intimate experience with another human being anymore.
I think this is going to be for those people who cannot have an intimate experience or connection with another human being. This is not for normal, average people. This isn't, you know.
So you think only the person who's kind of When you say, you mean they can't get anyone? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, they can or they don't.
Antisocial or just don't know how to behave around other people. Those are the people that sit behind their computer right now and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on the porn industry on the internet.
Right.
It is one of the largest industries in, like, globally. Those people are going to be attracted to a robotic partner. Normal people are not.
Right. So I mean, there's a market for everything. It's just weird that it's coming to light now.
It's crazy.
What?
I feel like it should be.
No, it should not be.
There will be groups that try to argue that it should be. But then if you look at the bigger picture too, I mean, robots are going to be taking away, the article was talking about how robots are going to take away jobs from white collar and blue collar people.
Don't believe it all the way. I don't.
Ugh.
I don't. Because you're going to have robots that, of course, can take away jobs that, like people say, monkeys can do. If monkeys can do the job, yeah, you can train a robot to do it, save the money, there's no overhead. You're going to have that. But there are jobs where you do require a person, you know.
I mean, you've seen it happen
CEOs,
when it comes to machinery, and especially in the field of agriculture. Farming has changed. The type of equipment, jobs that used to take 200 people, you have a machine and all of a sudden all of them don't have jobs anymore.
Like I said, jobs monkeys can do.
I've seen it happen, right, but actual robots, I mean, people have developed robots and they have robots in their home. That's going on right now. My thing is, could it become dangerous? Could it be something harmful?
Like iRobot?
I don't want to go to iRobot, but, you know, could it become something where people could be harmed because of it? And if so, why are we even trying to go
Well, what kind of harm
route?
are you talking about?
Okay, for instance, you send this, okay, so the robot that people are having their intimate experience with, it is programmed to just react, basically to function with you,
I think it'd be
right?
programmed to whatever you want it to do.
Right. But can someone basically manipulate it so that it'll have another purpose to do something else?
Anything that's electronic can be manipulated.
Right. So do we want to put that in the hands of the public? Do we want to, if you're saying a robot, I'm thinking it's going to be full size. I'm thinking almost every part of it will be able to function, right? So can you take it and manipulate it to do something else?
Like what?
Everything that we do in today's age is a robot without a face or a body. It's all machinery that's doing it. When we go to the ATM machine and we're no longer talking to the teller, we're getting money from a machine. It's a robot. It's a computer in the form of a robot that's doing those things. The robot just has hands, legs, can move, and can speak the voice that the same computers can do. So is there an opportunity for it to be manipulated? Absolutely. Is there a chance that it'll malfunction? Totally. Why would you want it in your bedroom if all of those circumstances are there? Can real people malfunction and
think about
break?
It.
Yes.
If you're having relations with a robot, let's say for instance it malfunctions in the process.
Be like two dogs?
What if it's a female robot and then the male is, you know, interacting with it, and it malfunctions in something circuit or something, you know?
There are already electronic versions of partners that are out there.
Right.
Women and men have sex toys. Those are computerized or battery operated. Those things
But there's less
risk. They
risk.
break.
There's less risk.
Oh, Sandy.
I don't think
This is gonna
I
go
just
into the
really
commercial break with
I don't
Sandy.
see I don't see it.
I don't either. I think it's gross.
I wouldn't want a life-size thing next to me. I don't know.
So would you want the robot to be a chef? Would it be acceptable if the robot was making food for you every morning you came out and he had your coffee ready for you, or he made your smoothie, all the vegetables and fruits that you liked, and he handed it to you and he said, "Have a great day, Sandy"? Like, would that be okay?
No.
None of it. Okay. Well,
See, that would be okay for me.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do because
It's
they're
something
coming,
with a conscience, something where, you know, if my hand is there.
A conscience.
Right, exactly. So if my hand gets on the board accidentally, is it going to understand? Is it going to react in time? Or is it going to cut, you know, is it going to cut? I'd rather deal with a human. I don't want to deal with a robot cooking or having sex or clean, nothing. I'd rather deal with people.
Okay, well, here's a human for Sandy then. Let's go on to our motivational topic.
Deal with it.
We have artist Amal Saeed, who is painting pictures, taking photographs of pictures of us, of darker-skinned people that are missing from media outlets, from movies, from Hollywood. And she's showing the beauty that is, and she likes that. We like that too, because a lot of underrepresented pictures or photographs is what she's coming up with. So thank you, Amal.
I absolutely love it. And there was a quote where they say that they're trying to help people see through the camera without seeing that it's a camera. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. The fact that you even have to capture images photographically in order for them to really see the beauty that's there. It just makes you think about it. And another thing is they mentioned how, you know, everyone's on the internet. Everything is now computerized, so we've become more visual. You know, we want to constantly see. But even though beauty is right in front of us, we don't see it.
Right.
So it's amazing that she's taking on this task of trying to show us the beauty that's already there, taking women of their darker shades. You know, I was speaking to a person. She was in a hair store, and she was, you know, trying on different things, and I was just blown away by the complexion. I mean, she was almost as dark as your jacket, Erica, but she was just so beautiful, and I complimented her, and she thought I was talking about the hair, and I said, no, your skin, it's absolutely beautiful. And she's like, she didn't like her skin, and then she was buying the soap, you know, to lighten.
No way.
Yes, to bleach her skin, to make herself lighter. So, I mean, when people take on these type of issues and projects, I think it's really important because it's something that we're dealing. And even people your complexion, Gigi, it's not just really dark people. Some people just want to be fair, or just really white. But there's beauty in every single shade, not only, you know.
Yeah, that's what I love is her creativity and the diversity of the portraits that she's taking.
Right.
I mean, she has people with piercings, she has people with head scars, she has people with natural hair. She's doing a series where the people that she's photographing are holding pictures from generations past.
That one I loved. Yeah.
So that she can make a connection between the two. I love that she's using the shadows in the background. I mean, I think that she's coming from a space that's totally within, you know, and it's her emotions that are coming out from her childhood, from the way that she perceived things, the way that she saw things. She was talking about how she grew up in a very poor neighborhood, and when she went back there, she didn't even realize that she had grown up in such a poor, desolate neighborhood. She just had always seen the richness and the beauty. So that's where they go back to the beauty in the eyes of the beholders.
Right. Depends on whatever way you look at it is how it's going to come out. So her being behind that photograph and photographing her friends, and her friends being able to say, I didn't know I was so beautiful. And not necessarily aesthetically pleasing, but you see the beauty in a person. To actually, you know, we look at ourselves and we don't see that. We may see our flaws or our issues, and to be able to just see a still photograph that is you, and you recognize you, she says that's the greatest gift that she feels, you know, that she can give and that she feels as well. Just to see that happiness when someone realizes that they are beautiful on the inside, and that reflects through her photographs on the camera. That's what Amal Saeed is all about. Somali parents, by the way.
Yeah, and it's kind of like taking back the essence of what a picture used to be about. Because in this selfie age,
capturing that moment.
You know what I mean? Now it's all about the selfie and how you pose. Everybody, it's kind of robotic. And always the same filters, you know what I mean? A picture isn't what a picture used to be anymore, you know what I mean?
It doesn't have that same meaning, I think, is what it is.
It doesn't have the same meaning, and I think projects like this make us think back to, okay, what is it really about? What's important? And after 10 years later, am I going to look at this selfie and really feel like, oh my goodness,
No, you should feel stupid that you were sitting there taking a selfie.
You know, so I love the initiative, and I hope that it goes worldwide, not just where she is, because it's really important, and I think that we have to connect with women or people in different environments to understand beauty isn't just what you see on the magazine, what you see on TV. It's universal, and you have it from day one. It isn't given to you. It isn't because you're trying to look like something, but you're already beautiful from day one. So.
Very nice. That was Amal Saeed, and she, with the photos, with the family members, with the ancestry, she says that she realized how important it was to have that connection. Because when you see that photo, like if you were to see a photo of like your grandmother or great-grandmother, you would feel connected, but you don't until you see it. And to have that memory and to capture that, and you can tell in that photo almost everything that that person is about, you know, and that's in you. That's
so
instilled
cool.
in you. Yeah, that's from a photograph. So before we end, really quick health tips, as we're in May, and I give you these so everyone remains healthy, right? This time, fibromyalgia. How about a new study has come out where fibromyalgia can now be, you can actually end some of that traumatic pain from fibromyalgia with exercise. I know before, because you have a lot of the joint pain, a lot of the tenderness, a lot of the aching. Exercise now has come out of the new study, light cardio, as being able to take some of that away. So pass that tip on to those if you know someone with fibromyalgia. Light exercise, it is recommended. So we thank you all so much for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you next time on Point of View.